children, and welcome to today's Bible story. We have seen Jesus as he walked along by the Sea of Galilee. He called to 4 fishermen to come and follow, and they would be his disciples. They would leave everything behind, their nets and their boats, and they would follow him. They were Peter and Andrew, James and John, and they would follow Jesus into Capernaum, where he is due to preach and to teach on the Sabbath in the synagogue. Now, it was very normal in those days for teachers or rabbis to travel around the country teaching in the synagogues as they went. And Jesus is going to teach in the synagogue in Capernaum. Now, the synagogue is just like our church buildings. It's a place where people come together to fellowship, to praise God. They learn all about the scriptures, about the stories of Abraham and Moses, Samuel and all the other prophets, and about the law. So it is a very special place. And Jesus is to teach on the Sabbath. So along comes Jesus to teach. He opens up the scroll and he teaches. But people are amazed at his authority. Now, the people in the synagogue will be quite used to authority, in that the priests would tell them what to do, how to follow the laws of Moses and to be God's people. The Roman soldiers could impose very harsh laws on people and make them pay lots of money. But when Jesus taught, he had authority that was different. It was full of compassion and love and mercy. Because, of course, it was authority given to him by his Father in heaven, by God the Father. In the synagogue that day, there was a man who had an unclean spirit. And he said to Jesus, "Let us go. What would you have with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know you are the Holy One of God." And Jesus said, "Be quiet, come out of him." And the spirits came out of the man and he was healed. The people were so amazed. What type of teaching is this that can heal unclean spirits? How amazing that must have been to everybody who was there on that day. And how incredible for the man who was healed. He would go home as a completely healed person. He would go home to his family, be able to live a normal life. Now Jesus left the synagogue, but the people in amazement would have gone out into the streets and told everybody about all that they had seen. And what a story that was to tell on that day. When Jesus left the synagogue at Capernaum, he went a short distance to Peter's house. He was there with Peter, Andrew, James and John. When he came in, he found that Peter was very worried. His mother-in-law was very ill. She had a fever. But Jesus took her by the hand and lifted her out of the bed, and she was totally well again. And she served them. Perhaps she may have cooked a meal, or she may have taken some bread for them and given them some bread. But unlike us, when we're not very well, we get better in stages, so each day we feel a little better. When Jesus heals, it's total and complete, just like the man with the unclean spirit. So Peter's mother-in-law was totally healed. Now, come the evening, it was as though the whole city was at the door. And many people came who were in need of healing. And Jesus healed them all. was very early the next day that Jesus left the house, and he went alone to a lonely spot where he could pray to the Father. A little while later, Peter came, and he had with him the others from the house. He said to Jesus, "Everyone's looking for you." But Jesus said, "Let's go to the next town where I must preach, because that's what I'm here for." So as the disciples leave, we think of Jesus as he's praying to the Father. He's about to go into the whole of Galilee to preach and to drive out demons and to heal. So he needs that time of prayer with the Father. And God has a purpose for each and every one of us, but we do need to spend time with the Father in prayer. So I'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time with Jesus and the disciples as they continue on their mission. So goodbye for now. Goodbye.